guys, so this week on the Bro Society channel we are talking about packing. Now I've never packed before in my life. I've never had any interest in packing before because the idea of a prosthetic like penis thing just doesn't appeal to me. Like I don't think I want bottom surgery like ever. So to me packing doesn't really make sense. Like it's pretty pointless me doing that. So this means that I don't know really anything about packing because I've never had to do like any research or like that before now, but I thought I would give you some like little alternatives if you don't actually want to buy a packer. So the obvious sort of one is to get a sock and use that to create a little bulge for yourself. So all you have to do is just like twist it into shape if you want to, or just simply put it down your pants. The problem with this is if you're an active person, or even if you're not, I've done a bit of research and it does tend to move about a bit. So the best idea is to safety pin it to your boxers if you can. If not, you can also use like a jock strap to keep it in place. You can also use a bit of like string or anything like that to tie it together so it actually doesn't unfold, because I've read in places that sometimes the socks unfold during the day and it just completely gets rid of the bulge. So if you use a bit of string to tie around it to keep it in the shape that you want it to, it's more likely to stay there. There's a few disadvantages of this, like it can easily fall out. If you don't use string, it can easily become untied. It can also like get a bit warmer because it's obviously another piece of clothing for your body to handle with, and it can create a lot of warmth. It also doesn't help if you've like a dysphoric and it doesn't feel realistic, so for some people that could create a bit more dysphoria for them. But if you're just looking for an easy way to create a bulge, it is the easiest and the cheapest way because everybody's got socks that's just like lying around. So another way that I've heard to like create your own little packer is to get a unlubed condom and fill it up with hair gel to whatever size you want it to be, and then tightly tie a knot in it. Like you've got to tie it obviously really tight so that the hair gel doesn't leak out, and then to like cut the end off and then tie it again with like put another condom on top of it and tie it again. So this creates like a little penis, and it's probably the best one if you're going to be like, if you know for a fact you might be scraping about people, it sort of feels realistic to other people because it just feels like an actual penis. This also means if you are like going to be active and you know you're going to be active, you could like, it's best to obviously tie another condom around it so you've got a triple bag sort of thing, because it means that it's more like durable, it's less likely to break and like pop and all that lot, so it just helps keep it together sort of thing. With this you can also create like little balls to go with it, so you do it in the same sort of way where you get the condoms, you tie it, you do it again, but instead of like putting one condom over it, you put both of the little balls together and put them inside of a condom then to create like a little sort of like ball sack sort of thing. And then obviously that can go in place and you can put that down with it. To do this it's best to wear either a jock strap or some tight fitting underwear so it actually keeps it all in place. The only problem with this is I have read places where it slightly pulls. If you've got like pubic hair, it can pull on that. Obviously with the condom and it rubbing against it, it creates a bit of friction. The other problem is as soon as that's showing signs of like wearing, you do have to like replace it. So it is probably easier to save up for a packer, but if you just need a quick one, like I don't know, for whatever reason you just quickly need to make one, or you just quickly need one for that day, you have to put you on until like a few weeks until you get a new one, then it's obviously a good idea to do this one. The last one, it's sort of one that you shouldn't ever use if you're conscious about people like bumping into you, because it will not feel realistic whatsoever. It's to use a groin guard like in the place of your pants. You can buy these quite cheap from like sports shops and all that lot, and it really is a good idea if you can just slip it in your pants. It won't move all day. It's like plastic. You can get plastic or you can get fabric ones actually, so they can be softer or harder depending on what you're feeling like, and it will just stay there and it will will just create a little bulge for you, because it is purposely made to go around a penis to keep it protected during sports, but because it's purposely made for men, it purposely goes around the penis, it creates a bulge naturally. The only problem is you have to get the right size, or else it will look very unrealistic. If you get one that's too small for you, it will naturally show. If you get one that's too big for you, it will bulge out too much. So you've got to try and like get the right size that you sort of would think that somebody averagely your height and weight and everything else would have. I would probably say, if you are going to get a groin guard, is to get a fabric, like a fabric cushioned one rather than a plastic one, because unless you know exactly what size you need to make it look realistic, a plastic one is a lot harder, whereas a soft fabricy sort of one, you can sort of adjust it and you can manipulate it so that it does look more realistic. What I'd say is just remember that packing isn't for everyone, so no matter if you're buying no matter if you're like buying or making an alternative to a packer or actually getting a packer, always start out as cheap as possible so you can find out whether it's for you, and then if it just turns out it's not, then you're not wasting like a lot of money on it. That's it from me this week, and I'll see you guys next week with a new video. Bye!